Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in my last video I told you that I would update you and let you all know about my injuries. Well, I've had my fair share of them, and since the last video I've had another injury as well, so stay tuned to listen all about it. Hi guys, so as you can see, I'm not in my magical setting as I was at the introduction to this video. That was actually shot when I was out in Iraq, so I had all intentions of doing the video while I was out there working, but like with everything else, you know, I do quite easily get sidetracked, so I didn't get a chance to finish the video while I was out there, but nevertheless I'm home now. Thankfully. So injuries then, yeah, interesting one. I've been plagued with them. So where did it start? So in my last video from Long Course Weekend, I said to you that I had a knee injury and I had to pull out of the run. So what happened was, the week, well, about 10 days before I went out to Mallorca, I did a long run the day after a long bike, and the bike was quite intense. I did a big loop around the Neath Valley, up over the Ricos and the Bulch and everything else. For anyone around this area that knows that, it's quite a tasty ride. It was probably one of my tastiest to date. So it was around 100 miles thereabouts. So the next day I went out on the run, did an hour and a half, knew that obviously I'd be travelling out to Mallorca, so I'd be missing a few days of my plan leading up to the event, so I decided to push a little bit harder on the run. Yeah, big mistake. About an hour and 25 into it, I mean I was about a mile away from home, something like that. My knee, I had a sharp pain in my left knee, I did. And it was almost like my knee wanted to invert, and it was like, oh, that stopped me in my tracks. So I didn't think anything of it, kind of shook it off, and as you do, an ex-rugby boy myself, kind of shake any injury off and you crack on, you just get on with life, yeah? Anyway, the next day I woke up, it wasn't swollen, but I couldn't put hardly any weight on it. Now obviously I was concerned that I had an event with Ironman Wales just, you know, a few days away. We were travelling about 3 or 4 days later, so I just took total rest, I had to. Didn't do anything, no bike, nothing, just walking, obviously my day-to-day activities. Anyway, got out to Mallorca, just walked a bit more actually, purposely went out on walks, you know, longer walks, faster walks, just kind of a bit of rehabilitation on the knee. Again, not knowing what I had done. And I didn't want to do any running out there. Kind of made my mind up that I would run T1, walk T1 rather, because I was just fearful that all my training and hard work that I'd put in leading up to Mallorca, that, you know, if my knee had gone closer to the day while I was out there, then I wouldn't have been in a good frame of mind going into the event. So the day kicked off, the swim went well, come out of the water, carried away, run to T1. It wasn't until I got on the bike and I was actually heading along to Plenca Mountain and I realised, oh, hang on, I was supposed to walk that. Well, my knee must be okay. So I got back, done a good bike leg, got back to T2, and out I went on the run. And my knee held up. So for me, I thought, that's it, my knee is sorted. 2 days later, I went out to Iraq to work again, and thought, brilliant opportunity here. Now I know they didn't have a pool, but they had some sort of cycle facility, whether it be a spin bike or something along them lines, which they did, spin bike only. But endless amounts of tarmac around the camp. So it was very hot. It was, I think, early 40s, late 30s, early 40s at that time of year, May. This was mid to end of May. And I went out for a 5k run. About 3.5, 4k into that, I had a little issue with my knee, but I was on, graded ground. So I thought maybe I twisted my ankle, led to my knee hurting. Just kind of ran it off, shook it off, thought, no, this can't be happening to me, I'm okay. Next day, a little bit sore stepping out of my cabin. Let it go until my knee stopped aching again. Went out and I thought, gotta do a 10k run. I mean, I gotta nail my running. The two key elements I wanted to nail out there was my running and my diet to try and drop a bit of weight, yeah, which all plays a big part into me getting up them mountains in Ironman Wales on the bike. So I went out and done a 10k run. 7k into that run, knee hurts again. Silly old me, stubborn old me, run through it. And boy, did I pay the price. So the next day or so, it was quickly established that, I am just twinged my knee or twisted it. I'd seriously injured my knee. Obviously, this was getting the better of me now, and I decided to reach out to a physio. I had an online consultation with a physio called Ant Carter from CPP Wellbeing, and in all fairness to him, within 24 hours of me messaging him, we were online. We had consultation, took me through a range of movement, a lot of questions were asked, and again, within 24 hours of that meeting, he sent me over a strength program, strength and mobility program. So I worked on that for the last 2 weeks I was out there till I could come home and physically get an assessment with him. He done a full assessment on me and confirmed that my flexibility was absolutely crap. Something everybody takes for granted is strength and conditioning. Now, there's arguments for it and against it. Purposely, if I was to replay everything I've done so far, I would definitely plan some in. Strength and mobility, certainly. Conditioning, a lot of that comes anyway from being in the positions on the bike and obviously out on the run and swimming naturally. Yeah. So my hip flexors, my glutes, I don't engage them. I've never had to use them, so they were seriously neglected, and he kind of felt that led to the problem with my knee. So anyway, I had to trust the process, worked with a strength program he gave me for about 2-3 weeks leading up to long course. By that point, I honestly felt a lot stronger, in my leg, and that my flexibility was improving. I was doing all the strength workouts and, not aching after it. If anybody goes to the gym and does weights, that first training session, no one forgets it. You can't move your arms, can't move your legs. And then obviously your body adapts as you get stronger and fitter, and the recovery is much quicker. So long course weekend, I was feeling good. And I did ask him, I said, look, after the bike on the Sunday, do you mind if I attempt a run? So he asked me to check back in with him on the Sunday because he was down there himself doing the event. And what I wanted was my training partner, Lugger, obviously he was signed up for the full event, and I felt a bit bad that obviously I couldn't do the run leg with him as well. So he had to run solo on that. But obviously my plan was at that point to run in with him on the last 5k. So I walked up onto the ridgeway and I ran back in with him, which was great. And my knee held up. So, massive positive there now. So reported that back to my physio, had a good chat with him over the next couple of weeks, next couple of days rather, and we decided to fit running back into the plan. So it was like almost official, my knee had recovered, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. So the week later, I had to go away to work. I went up to Hull, travelled, sat in a van, driving up for 5 hours. Got the hotel, chucked my kit down on the bed, and literally had 2 hours spare before I had to go meet some clients, and went out for a run. Run started off back to my usual pace, didn't decrease the pace at all, and felt really positive. My knee was holding up, and that's all I was focusing on was my left knee. 20 minutes into that run, I felt the twinge in my right calf. Honestly, I'm like, so kind of run it off. I thought I could run it off. Then I pulled over because I could feel it gradually getting worse, tried to stretch it out, didn't know what it was. I mean, I played rugby when I was younger. I never ever had an injury apart from a broken finger, right, all my life. now to have a knee injury and then pull a muscle, you know, strained muscles where, you know, a day or two later they're fine, you're back to normal, but actually, you know, pulling a muscle and tearing a muscle, two different things. So I was at wit's end. Literally couldn't put any pressure now on my right foot, my soleus muscle. By the sounds of it, when I reported it back to the physio, I torn it. So that week, that was on the Tuesday, on the Friday, I was in therapy again with Ant. Again, you know, introduced some more strength and mobility exercises to try and repair that injury. And that's what we kind of worked on. So, I mean, literally since my orca, done hardly any running until I would say second week of July, started running again, and then like had a week of trying to get back into it, and then obviously injured again for like another 2 weeks. So like my running has only really come on now, back end of July, beginning of August, which is where we are now. It's the 14th of August now today, and yesterday went down to Tenby. So my biking and my swimming is going well. Went down to Tenby yesterday and managed to do 3 laps of the Ironman course, which is 20 miles. I'll post the workout here just for you all to have a look at it. But, you know, despite the struggles I've had over the last 2 months, really on and off, battling injuries, this has been a godsend. Well, not just this, my physio. I mean, he hasn't just carried out, you know, physiotherapy for me and helped me in that department, but honestly, he's been like a counsellor to me. Never met, well, I've met a few people, but this guy, honestly, the positivity that he gives out in his sessions, a couple of times I walked in there, you know, my head down and I'm thinking, you know, he's going to tell me I think should defer, not for 1 second. This guy's done Ironman himself, and you know, before I decided who I was going to go to as for physiotherapy, as soon as I knew he'd done an Ironman, I thought that's the guy for me. Because you know, if you've never done an Ironman before, the amount of training that goes into it and dedication, you know, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it takes a special type of person to understand what you're going through. You know, he's a professional person. He's played a lot of sport professionally as well in his time. So I thought, well, this guy will know what's going on up here. And straight away, you know, he said, we're going to get you across that line. And boy, was he right. And we're now like 3 weeks away from Ironman Wales, and I'm feeling in good spirits. I got to be honest. I mean, my bike is there, my run is there. That was like my longest run I've ever done to date. Yesterday, my legs feel okay this morning, so I think it's well and you know, I can well and truly say, and it's safe to say, that Roscoe is injury free. Let's just hope it stays like that, because honestly, if I pick up another injury now between, you know, in the next 3 weeks, and I've only really got another week now of intense training, and then it really decreases then, you know, to taper over 2 week periods. So I've got a couple of events now going forward, nothing too strenuous, mainly swim events, just to keep that momentum going. Because at the moment, I feel that's probably my weakest discipline now. My bike is where it is. I mean, I'm not going to improve on that. The only thing that will improve by minutes on the overall course is this, the weight, and I'm not doing any better than that. Out in Iraq, I did kind of obsess a bit with the diet and kind of creeped into the 16 stone bracket, and I'm back up to about the 17.5 stone now. So it is what it is. I'm happy what I produced yesterday at that weight. Could I have done things differently? Absolutely. I mean, I'm at the stage now where, you know, I'm over questioning, have I done enough? You know, could I have done things better? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? It's too late now. Am I in a position where I feel confident enough to finish it? Yeah. And do you know what? That's all that matters. For me, it's all about, this journey is all about, has been all about getting across that line. So for me, guys, it's been a rocky road. Very lumpy at some points throughout the journey. But this will be my last update now. So we're almost there. We're almost at the start line. Today I've got a 3K swim event down in Swansea Bay, shark swim event. And next Saturday I've got a 2-mile swim event down in Pembrokeshire, Solva, Green Monster I think it's called, which is a 2-mile swim out to the rock and back. Apart from that, it's just ticking over on my training days, trying to stick to the Don Fink plan as best I can. Don't beat myself up if I miss one, but I don't miss a training session intentionally. We're experiencing very high demanding work at the moment. So I've had to go away a lot more than I should, or a lot more than I like to, I should say. But, you know, trying to squeeze it all in and get that balance has been difficult, but we're almost there, and we're almost at the line now. So, yeah, picking up that knee injury wasn't, it was tough. I mean, you know, just me thinking about it now, what I was going through mentally at the time, yeah, I could have cried, I'd be honest with you. You know, I'm not ashamed to say it. When you put all that effort into training and something like that gets in the way, I could have quite easily thrown the towel in, genuinely. I was absolutely gutted, you know. I thought my dreams of becoming an Ironman were over, but, you know, all the help from Anthony, the support network I got around me, friends, my training partner, my family, they believed in me, which you know, reignited that flame and that spark inside me. So we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. So bear with us. And yeah, my next video now, and I know I haven't had time to do many, but my next video now will be on the day. So check back in now in about 3 weeks. I'll try and get that one up as soon as possible. And fingers crossed for me, guys. Please just keep everything crossed for me. Everything goes well on the day. No mechanicals, no injuries. And I genuinely believe that I've got what it takes to get across that line. So hopefully everything goes all right on the day. So thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing this journey with you so far. And we're only a month away now from closing this journey out one way or another. So again, fingers crossed, guys, it all goes plan. And thank you very much for sticking with me and watching this channel. All the likes, the shares, the subscriptions. I think, you know, started off as a fresh new channel, so nobody had subscribed at all, and we're up to 130 odd, I know, and I've received messages of people and everything, and it's been really inspiring. So thank you very much to everyone, and take care, guys.